You're listening to One Family, What's God Doing? Where we explore what God's doing in YWAM locations throughout Virginia. We can't wait for you to find out what God's doing today.
Welcome back to What's God Doing, and we are at the last of our mini-series on the DTS Outreach. We've explored how God can work in unexpected places for such a time as this. We explored how things can suddenly change and God is actually creating more opportunities to serve. Last week, we pressed into the power of prayer and the impact of language. And we're going to touch on that piece a little bit more in an interesting way. Now, Moises starts off by sharing the power of testimony, using our story to impact others. But here's the interesting thing. So often when a DTS team serves on outreach, it's in a space that might not have their native language as the primary language. So how do you share about God when the language is different than your own? One of the ways the DTS outreach team was able to do this is through drama. And you'll hear from Moises, that's not his preferred way to make God known. But when God gave him the invitation, he stepped in and was able to see God work in an amazing way. You get to witness a little bit of this through one of their skits that they did. And this specific skit is with clowns. Now, why do they choose clowns? Well, kids love colorful things, they love silly things, they love fun things, but clowning allows a way to communicate messages without having to rely on words. And in this small snippet of a sketch, you will get to see what it can look like to communicate God without using a single word.
When I was preaching to two youth groups, I gave my testimony and I also gave a message on identity, which connects to my testimony. And I was explaining how our value and purpose comes from God and the free gift of grace that we're able to receive and just the wonderful blessing that is. And I'll also try to connect to them at their level with their cultural elements, their hobby, and things of that nature. So at the end, when I was asking who wanted to receive Jesus, multiple students came to receive Jesus. It was very encouraging. When we went to this poor neighborhood called Pontezuela, we were doing a vacation Bible school there. And it's the first time I've ever helped out with a vacation Bible school. So it was a new experience for me. And the same thing, we played games, we did skits. And usually dramas are not my thing, but it really pushed me out of my comfort zone to do this gospel narrative. And I got to play Jesus because I'm the only guy in this DTS, but it was fun. And we had over 100 kids that would come. And they were so receptive to the gospel that they even went to see a skit twice that we did. So God was doing a lot this past 2 weeks here in the Dominican Republic with people giving their lives to Jesus, people being more interested in the gospel, us just being able to play games with students and love on them.
I am so grateful for the many ways that the DTS outreach not only served, but shared with us the ways that God worked. So DTS outreach team, thank you so much. And thank all of you for journeying with us as we together, as one family, explore what it means to know God and make him known.
Thank you so much for joining us for this episode of One Family, What's God Doing? If you'd like to learn more about what God's doing in Virginia, visit us at ywamva.org and join us next week for more stories of God at work.
We're all one family.